Remember what I was saying about how when you have an iconic masterpiece, don't touch it. Don't go back and make another one or fix it up or whatever, because it's already really good. There's no reason, like anything you do from this point on, whether it's good or bad, is gonna change things. It's gonna leave a scar. If it's really bad, then every time someone sees the original Lion King, they're just gonna go, "Oh yeah, do you remember that really bad Lion King movie that came out? Oh my gosh, while I was watching this, all I can think of is that one." You know, or it could be the opposite, which is if this new Lion King movie happens to be really, really good, which I highly doubt. Even if it happens to be really good, then it's just gonna make the old original Lion King look like crap in comparison. Something that you grew up loving is going to look not as good compared to this one. So either way, I just feel like, look, it's considered an iconic Disney masterpiece. So leave it alone before you alter things for the worst. So that's kind of my opinion on that part of it. The other thing too is, once again, it's going to be really weird seeing like actual looking animals talking. That to me is like really strange. Like I've never been okay with that in movies.
Yeah.
Like when I saw 102 Dalmatians with the do you remember the bird, the macaw that talked? I was like, that is so weird. Like that is like really strange. Like anyway, but it looks very uncanny and very strange for realistic looking animals to talk in a serious movie. It's one thing if you've got that movie made for 3-year-olds called Napoleon about like a puppy that goes to Australia
or like sled dogs.
Or like sled dogs. That's one thing because it's like for 3-year-olds. But when you've got a movie like this, like Lion King, that's supposed to appeal to the general public, it's gonna be weird. And so it's just I'll give them this at least. They've at least made a few voice actor decisions that are good, because remember I was talking about the Jungle Book remake. They chose all these famous Hollywood actors, but none of them had voices that really fit the part of the animal they were playing. It just didn't sound right. Didn't sound like you were hearing voices from a wolf or voices from a bear or voices from or even Shere Khan's voice. It's just none of them sounded like the characters they were. But the good thing so far about Lion King is that they brought back James Earl Jones to play Mufasa. I thought that James Earl Jones, his voice was perfect for playing Mufasa in the first movie, so the fact that he's coming back is kind of good. And then they chose Seth Rogen. He's got a very interesting voice. I don't know who he's going to play.
He's playing
but
Pumbaa.
I do. Oh, he's playing Pumbaa. Okay. Well, I don't know how well that works together, but Seth Rogen does have a memorable voice. And when you choose voice actors for an animated feature, you want someone with a memorable voice to voice a character, because that's what makes them sound like that animal, So anyway, so while I will not be seeing this movie, I will say that it at least has that going for it, which Jungle Book did not have. So, yeah.
Well, this is interesting. I saw this on my Instagram feed minutes before we went live for the podcast, posted by Disney Studios. Apparently, the new Lion King teaser trailer has become the most viewed Disney trailer debut ever, as it reached a record-breaking 224.6 million global views in 24 hours. So that's sort of, I guess you can sort of gauge what the public thinks about not just the live-action remakes, but a Lion King live-action remake. But going back to what you said about seeing these like real animals talking in like a serious movie, I agree with you. I'm not a fan of having these like photorealistic animals talking like this, what was the movie? The Jungle Book. Um, I I guess one of the things I didn't like about the Jungle Book was it's sort of distracted seeing like photorealistic animals talking and like I guess like acting. So I guess it's sort of distracted for me at least from the movie because you're just focused on like wow this is like a really this what is tiger? I guess Shere Khan is a tiger. This like a really good looking tiger. I cannot believe they animated that tiger. I can't believe that's not looks like a real tiger. It just sort of distracts, in my opinion, from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And with animated movies, there's not, of course, there's compared to live action movies, there's not a lot of, I don't know how to phrase this. There's not a lot of detail. That sounds weird to say. There's not a lot of detail in the movies, especially in like the foreground and the background. But with these like live action movies, there's so much going on in like I said, the foreground and the background, with like all the trees and like the leaves are so photorealistic, so detailed. In my opinion, it just, in my opinion, distracts from the movie, especially when you plop these CG animals inside the scene. It just sort of does not look right to me.
You know what else is weird? Is okay, like this is something that not a lot of people think about, I'm pretty sure. But so the other thing about these photorealistic animals is because they're supposed to be so realistic, they also manage to give these animals the usual blank, unemotional look.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Animals have, like. So it's like really strange because like if you watch like the original Disney Jungle Book, the characters have such amazing facial expressions. Like Baloo the bear, when he's scratching his back on the tree, he has this funny look in his face. Or like when you see I don't know, Bagheera, growling or angry at Baloo or something, he has these amazing facial expressions that you can get away with traditional hand-drawn animation and stuff like that. But when you're trying to create a photorealistic animal, you can't put those cartoony facial expressions on them because it looks even weirder. And so therefore they've gone the route of just keeping them looking like blank-faced animals. And unfortunately, that doesn't translate the emotion of the character very well. And when I watched the new, CGI Jungle Book, I was just like, that was another one of those things that really bothered me. Besides the voices, was the fact that like the animals are not showing their emotion. There's no effort in acting on the part of the character. So it's just like, oh yeah, so that's something that bothers me.
Yeah, you can see this especially if you, I'm trying to find the video right now. If you watch like a side-by-side comparison, I got something in my throat. Here it is. The Lion King teaser shot for shot comparison. You can see what Alex and I are talking about, especially if you watch like those sort of side-by-side shot for shot, basically. I posted the link in chat for you guys. If you watch those and you sort of just like compare what the new movie will look like compared to the old one, it's a big, in my opinion, it's something that really ruins the movie for me. And I was just about to talk about the facial expressions before Alex brought it up. I mean, just look at the poster. I mean, sure, wow, that's like a really cute little kitty cat, right? But I mean, that's gonna be his face like the entire movie. Probably. Just get used to looking at that because it's probably not going to look any different. And yeah, even if you do try to do those cartoony expressions, it sort of just like detracts from what you're trying to do. Live action, realistic remake of the movie, it will not make it look as realistic. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I'm not very good at explaining this, but I'm sure you guys can sort of follow what we're trying to say. But I mean, it does look beautiful. I'll give it that. It does look very nice. The CGI looks fantastic. And one other thing that I wanted to bring up, the fact that they brought James Earl Jones back, I'm a fan of that, but it's sort of weird to me that they didn't, someone else was talking about this in the Discord, that they didn't bring back, what is his name, Jeremy Irons, to reprise his role, because, you know, he's still alive, he's still making movies, he was in that one Batman movie a while back, but yeah, they didn't bring him back, just James Earl Jones, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, they do have a lot of very well-known actors playing the voices. Of course, Donald Glover, who played, what is his name from Star Wars? Lando Calrissian. He will be voicing Simba. Key and Peele guy, the guy from Key and Peele, Keegan-Michael Key, will be playing Kamari. I don't know who that is. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, guys. I cannot pronounce this fine gentleman's name. Chiwetel. He plays Scar. I cannot pronounce his name. I apologize. You guys, Beyonce is voicing Nala, you guys. Beyonce. That's gonna be totally epic. I guess. Eric Andre will be voicing Azizi. Is that how it's pronounced? Probably. John Oliver will be voicing Zazu. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Jon Favreau, of course, is directing. I guess Jon Favreau is a pretty cool guy. So I have some faith in him that the movie will be good. I guess time will tell. But yes, that's it for that. Hey there, Mountaineers. Hope you enjoyed this short excerpt from the recent podcast, and if you did, be sure to check out the full episode. The link will be in the description.